Welcome to our Anime Vanguards tier list for update 4.0. In this video, we're ranking all the new and existing units from S tier to D tier, helping you decide which ones are worth using and which ones you should avoid. With update 4.0, we've got new units, balance changes, and meta shifts, so it's more important than ever to know which characters dominate and which ones fall behind. Whether you're looking for the best DPS, support, or utility units, we've got you covered. If you enjoy these tier lists, guides, and Anime Vanguards content, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future updates. Now, let's get into the rankings. D tier units, the weakest in Anime Vanguards. Starting off with D tier, we have some of the weakest units in Anime Vanguards, including Lufo, Shinzi, Genitsu, Gari, Grimwao, Naruto, Sasuke, Genis, John, Sanjo, Roku, Rukio, and more. It's disappointing to see some fan-favorite characters in this tier, but unfortunately, their damage output, abilities, and overall usefulness just don't match up to the stronger units in the game. Some of these, like Genis, Lufo, Sanjo, and Shinzi, are based on iconic anime characters, yet they struggle to keep up with higher tier units. The only slight saving grace for a few of these units is their low deployment cost, which might make them useful in the early game. However, most of them lack strong evolutions, meaning once you progress, they become completely outclassed. If you're trying to build a powerful team, these are not the units to invest in. C tier units, underwhelming but playable. Moving up to C tier, we have units like Nizuka, Nu, Inasake, Kokashi, Goi, Piccolo, Psycho, Nu, Song Jinwoo, Tengon, Vegeta, Joe, and Akaiga. While some of these are well-known anime characters, Anime Vanguards unfortunately doesn't do them justice. Units like Inasake and Kokashi are epic rarity, yet they feel one-dimensional, lacking versatility or strong scaling. Song Jinwoo is another big disappointment despite having potential. His base stats are weak, and his upgrades don't justify the cost. One of the most hyped additions in update 4.0 was Nizuka, but sadly, she falls short. Demon Slayer fans were hoping for a strong unit, but her damage and abilities don't stand out. If she gets an evolution in a future update, she could become more viable, but for now, she's stuck in C tier. While these units are better than D tier, they struggle to compete with stronger options. Some of them can be useful early on, but if you're aiming for the best team, you'll want to replace them as soon as possible. B tier units, decent but replaceable. The B tier in Anime Vanguards is packed with average but usable units. These characters are not outright bad, but they fail to meet expectations when compared to top tier options. Some epic units like Alligator, Blossom, and Kinua stand out as the better choices in this tier, but they still lack high-end scaling. Meanwhile, legendary units like Itachi, Kinaru, Vegeta Super, and Nobaba, Nu, fail to justify their rarity, making them somewhat disappointing picks. We also have mythical characters in this tier, like Sasuke, Hebi, Naruto, Six Tails, and Obito, all of whom should have been stronger, but fall short in terms of impact. Sasuke, Hebi, is probably the worst mythical unit right now, which is shocking considering his rarity. Some of the newly added units in update 4.0, like Akaarun, Tadu, Mimi, Weenie, and Psycho, Spirit Medium, land in this tier because while they offer decent utility, they still don't quite break into the top ranks. Ultimately, B tier units are serviceable, but not worth investing too many resources into. If you get one of these early on, they can help you progress, but as soon as you get better replacements, it's best to swap them out. A tier units, strong and reliable. If you're looking for units that are strong enough to carry you through most content but don't require an insane grind, then the A tier units are your best bet. Many of these characters have powerful evolutions, but even their base forms can hold their own in most battles. Key highlights: Agony, Alucard, Chaoten, and Igros have overpowered evolved versions, but their base forms are already solid, making them great picks even without an evolution. Sasuke, Storm, is a big step up from Sasuke, Hebi, offering higher damage and a stun ability, making him much more useful in combat. Julius, Explosion, gets a massive damage boost, RNG scaling, and freezes enemies with every attack, which is valuable in any game mode. Tadu, Unleashed, and Mimi, Psychic, New, offer a huge damage increase and reduced SPA compared to their base forms, making them far more effective. Abada and Abada, Awakened, both end up in A tier since their performance remains similar despite the evolution. However, Awakened Abada looks way cooler. Sprint Wagon, an epic unit, is the only non-legendary/mythical unit in the top 3 tiers, earning its spot thanks to its insane value for cost. Who should use A tier units? If evolving mythical units is too much of a grind, these A tier units can still get you through most of the game's content. They're easier to evolve and don't require as many resources as the S tier units, making them a more accessible choice. Strong passives and abilities like Bleed, Stun, Freezing, and critical boosts make many of these incredibly useful in different game modes. While A tier units might not be the absolute best, they're still strong, reliable, and worth investing in if you don't have the S tier options yet. Before we move on to the S tier units, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps a lot and ensures you don't miss out on future anime Vanguards tier lists, guides, and updates. Now, let's check out the S tier units, which are some of the strongest in the game, but keep in mind, there's an SS tier above them, where the absolute best units reside. Now let's move on to the S tier units. These are still powerful and meta relevant, but some have been slightly outclassed by the absolute best units in the SS tier. Despite some nerfs, Akazo, Destructive, and Song Jinwoo, Monarch, remain excellent units capable of handling waves of enemies with ease. Chaoten, Blade Dancer, also holds strong in the meta, even after a slight demotion. New additions like Jago and Chaso, Blood Curse, show great potential, and while they aren't quite top tier yet, their evolved forms in SS tier make them units worth keeping. Now, let's move on to the best of the best of SS tier. Now we've reached the absolute best of the SS tier units. These are the most broken, meta-defining units in anime Vanguards right now. If you thought Chaoten, Blade Dancer, was strong, wait until you get your hands on Divolo, Requiem, the rarest and most powerful unit in the game. With insane damage scaling, enemy slow debuffs, and unmatched versatility, this unit is a must-have for any top-tier team. Gajo, Infinity, and Tiji, Sorcerer Killer, have also ascended to new levels of power with their evolutions, gaining massive damage boosts, passives, and utility upgrades. Similarly, Tengon, Flashiness, Egros, Elite Knight, Vegeta Super, Awakened, and Alucard, Vampire King, have become even more dominant, making them all end-game worthy units. If you're aiming for the best of the best, these are the units you should be grinding for.